Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Britton's Hangout Hour episode 168. I am here with Matt from Books for the Back Porch. Hope I got that right. It's kind of a tongue
You
twister.
did, yeah. Books for the Back Porch.
It's kind of a tongue twister, a little bit.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things where like before you have the YouTube channel, like that sounds like a great title, and then after you've done like 3 episodes, you're like, yeah, no, that was a terrible name. But now I'm stuck with it, so I I ride with it.
Yeah, I found your channel. I think I actually found your channel when you first started it because you did a review of Devil in a Blue Dress, and I'm like, oh, there's another YouTuber who talks about crime books. This is awesome. I gotta support this guy. so
Yeah, that was literally my first video. I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I still don't have any idea what I'm doing at all. But like that was the whole reason why I started it was I would read all these crime books and then like there would be nothing on YouTube. I could not find any reviews on YouTube about these things, or it would be like 8 years old from dead channels. I'm like, well, why don't I just fill that gap? And then like, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the only people I know who do reviews of crime novels, well, aside from myself, I should say, are like Criminali and my
Hmm.
friends over at StoryTube. So there you go. And I found
Yeah, I didn't find.
I found Carl's channel too. He talked or well, he's kind of taking a break from crime books at the moment, but he likes reading them.
Yeah, it was always Criminali and it was always Carl, and then I didn't find StoryTube until might have been like September or October of last year. It took me a long time to find them. And then I finally came across them on a Don Winslow review.
Yeah, didn't you read Power of the Dog recently? I can't. I you read something from Don Winslow. I don't remember what it was.
I just did the border, the final in the Power of the Dog trilogy. So it took me 3 years to read that series. I did Power of the Dog in
Hmm.
2024. I did, or that might have been 2023. Did the Cartel in 2024, and then I think I finally got to the border, which was incredible, like absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I read Power of the Dog. I think it was 2024. I can't. The year's blanking on me at the moment, but I read that in 2024. I thought it was an excellent book. Um, I haven't read the other ones yet. Just haven't gotten around to it.
Oh, you got it. Like the border. I thought the cartel was great. There was one section of the cartel that like lagged a little bit for me. I know what he was trying to do. It just like some of the characters within that were a little saggy for me. But the border is incredible. The border takes it out of Mexico, and a lot of it takes place in America. It is it's heavily political. It's heavily influenced by the 2016 election and dealing with that. 'Cause that's when he was writing it. But it's really looking at how the American government and the American police are handling the war on drugs. It's just absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I'll have to. One of my goals for this year is to read a lot more crime books. So maybe I'll sneak another Winslow in. I don't know which one though. Maybe I'll do the border.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Winslow. Like anything, like everything that I've read by Winslow has been incredible. So, like I will never say don't read him.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. I read oh I mean that's the only Winslow I've ever read is Power of the Dog. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was an excellent book. Kind of reminded me of a more lucid James Ellroy. I'd say if James Ellroy wrote about the border stuff, I'd be like
No, no,
it's
I
really
can see that. Like
it's
there's
about
definitely aspects of Elroy in there, and like either in the writing style or just like the tone and the voice that Winslow has. But Winslow's, I mean, it's tough to say he's more approachable. Like because we're talking about cartels murdering children, and just absolutely torturing people. But like I don't know, it comes off as quite not as violent and or depraved as some of Elroy's characters in it. At least you feel like Elroy's characters, they seem to like almost enjoy doing it, where Winslow's characters at least have some reservations before they do the disgusting, horrible things.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting what you said. Approachable. Yeah, I'd say I think of something like I don't know. It doesn't quite have that. It's laconic without being like that weird Ellroy style where it's like bullets, if you will.
Hmm.
It's funny. I was gonna do a discussion with Power the Dog with Carlos and Yolanda because they were the ones who really sold me on that book. And then they made a discussion about it, and they kind of already covered the bases. So I'm like, yeah, I'll just do a review on my channels.
Hmm.
That's what I did. Um,
So I use my wife as kind of like the how approachable is this? I don't think my wife would enjoy anything by James Ellroy. Like he's so I mean, and she has her own literary degree. She went to school for literature. She does not enjoy the crime fiction as much as I do. She doesn't like the noir style. I
mm.
don't think she would ever touch a James Ellroy book and make it more than two chapters before saying like this telegraphic, short burst sentences is terrible. Where something like Don Winslow is a bit more approachable for someone like that, and like, hey, there's some literary weight to this, where James Ellroy is literally trying to like strip every literary weight out of this and have it like literally feel like I'm just reading telegraphs for
Yeah, I've
700
heard a lot
pages.
of colorful. I've heard a lot of colorful ways people have described Elroy style. Like, someone said it's like a newscaster on meth.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
probably
for
my favorite.
sure.
That's my favorite one because it was just like
That's good. I like that one.
that's. um, yeah, I mean it's been interesting. Cause I started Elroy with L.A. Confidential because I really like the movie. Um,
Hmm.
I think the movie's really good too. It's a great. It's one of those like it's a great adaptation while doing like half of the actual book because like the book is this kind of epic thing. It's his first kind of epic, and then I mean, L.A. Confidential book is great, but it can be a bit difficult to read because it has that kind of how you described it, stripped everything back kind of style. But it's been interesting going back and reading some of the books he did before that and seeing how he kind of came into it. It's, um, yeah. So, but anyway, yeah.
Yeah, the only one I've actually read from him, I've only done American Tabloid, which the further I get from American Tabloid, the more I enjoy it. Like it's a book like you really have to power through. Like if you put it down and you take your breaks from it, you lose the rhythm of it, and it's really hard to kind of get back into Elroy's cadence and his rhythm of his writing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when I finally finished it, I was like, I did a review on like where I wasn't sure like this is either one of like the best books that I've ever read or one of the most overhyped books. And the further I get away from it, the more I see what he was doing, and I don't know if I want to say the brilliance of it. Um, but I really appreciate what he was doing and how much of a impact he's had on this genre.
Yeah.
And then like to be able to see people like Jordan Harper. Like if
Mhm.
you read Jordan Harper, like there's such a clear Elroy influence in his writing, and just being able to see like how just the influence he's had on it is incredible.
Yeah. I'm actually. I know you really like Jordan Harper. I am hoping to read. Oh, it's that one of his that blew up. I think it's Everybody Knows is what it's called. I'm gonna read that this
Ah,
year.
yes, yep, yep.
I was actually gonna read that first for my first kind of Jordan Harper read, but then She Rides Shotgun came out as a movie last year, so I was like, I think I can sneak in She Rides Shotgun before the end of the year, and I did, and it was I thought it was well worth it. It's pretty good. There's only one part of it I was kind of like, yeah, I don't think you needed to do that, but
How much are you comfortable going into spoilers on here?
I mean, I don't mind talking about spoilers on here because I mean, I'll be
Was it
vague. There was I'll just say. I'll put it like this. There was a romance element in this that I didn't think needed to be there.
okay? Okay.
Everything
So
else
I
fit
loved
really
it.
nicely.
The only thing I didn't necessarily love was Slab Town and
Oh
some
yeah.
of the people involved in Slab Town. And I think the movie handles that much better than the book.
Hmm.
So, and he wrote, or he wrote part of the movie. I don't know, like if he wrote the entire thing or because there's two writers and he's one of them on the movie. So I don't know if that's like I learned that this didn't work because for me, like that was the one thing that kept She Red Shotgun from being a 5-star book for me was just the element of Slab Town and the people running it. I was like, this is pushing it almost into like a slapstick. It felt like for me, like just so over the top for me that I was like, oh, I can't do this. But everything else was amazing. But like, you can't go wrong with Jordan Harper. If you go with Everybody Knows, The Last King of California was like his left on thing. I think The Last King of California is his best book that he's ever done. That came out. It had a weird release. In the UK, it came out before Everybody Knows, and in America, it came out after Everybody Knows because America thought Everybody Knows would be the more timely, bigger book, and it was. But The Last King of California is just like him firing on all cylinders.
I'll have to check that out. I mean, Everybody Knows seems to be like the one that kind of blew him up, so I was just kind of like, I want to read that, and it sounds interesting. It's like, oh, it's kind of like if Elroy did something in the modern day. I'm like, oh, that sounds appealing to me. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
like
hoping to. It seems like a good summer read. Could be wrong on that. Oh,
Everybody Knows is definitely his most Elroy esque book. Where like you definitely feel it with it taking place in LA and with it just like taking down the entire like LA culture aspect of it.
mm-hmm.
His follow up that comes out in like April 28th, April 26th, A Violent Masterpiece. It's the sequel to Everybody Knows, and that is where you really see the Elroy aspect of it. It is like the closest to Elroy that I've read
Really,
that
it's a
wasn't James
sequel? Oh
Ellroy.
man, I thought it was standalone.
It's
Or they're just
it's a
similar characters that show up in the book.
it follows like almost exactly after the end of Everybody Knows, but you're following brand new people. So it's like a continuation of the story told from a different way. Like I always looked at it as like The Wire,
Oh,
where
uh
like
huh.
season one of The Wire is incredible, season two is building off of that story, but you're seeing it from a different angle. That's
Mm.
how those two books fit together for me.
Yeah, I think I saw on your Discord. Aren't you reading that right now? The
I finished it like a week and a half ago now, I think.
Oh, well, okay. I thought I saw you said you were reading it somewhere. I was like, oh well.
I was, yeah, I
Did you
said on
get
my
an arc
Discord I
or
was
something?
reading it, but I went like I when I do Jordan Harper, like I fly through his book. Like I don't want to waste like that's all I'm doing. Like all my downtime is reading. Like I'm reading and getting through this.
So did you get an arc or something?
Yeah, yeah, it was on NetGalley had it.
Interesting. Yeah, I've been thinking about getting into that game because I get so many books, but I just haven't. I'm so bad at keeping up with new books, man. Like it's ridiculous. I'm like, there's these other
Like
books I want to go read over there. Go away, new books.
that was one of the main reasons why I got it was for the new Joe Lansdale that came out last year, and then I knew because Jordan Harper had been talking about his follow up coming out, so I was like, you know what, if I can grab that early, like that's literally all I want to do with this NetGalley account, and those are the only two that I've gotten from it. Down the road, I might grab something else, but like that was my main interest in it, like because yeah, like there's just too much I want to read, and especially in this genre, like focusing on crime. Or even like when I dabble into horror, like there's so many amazing things out there that I haven't gotten to yet that it's hard for me to keep up and like be just doing all modern, all current stuff.
Have you read Laird Baron?
Yes.
Hmm.
Is it? Oh man, because I haven't read any of his novels. I've only ever done his short story collections,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
and it's not. Oh, the beautiful thing that awaits us all, I believe, was the title of the one that I have done.
Yeah, I've read his crime novels, his Isaiah Coleridge books, which are a very First one's pretty straight crime novel. The other two kind of start blending like cosmic horror. It's quite fascinating. Um,
Yeah, I've always wanted to read those. I remember when it first came out, a lot of Baron fans were saying like they were disappointed in it because it was so crime heavy. So especially when I was deep into the horror world, like it was just like people disappointed with it, and I was like, man, that sounds like that's exactly what I want this to be. Is when Baron gets into his crime stuff and his like he gets very pulpy in some of his short stories.
mm-hmm.
Like if we're getting a full novel of this and then we get the cosmic horror on top of it, like, that sounds awesome. But I still, like I said, it's so hard for me to stick to current and modern releases because I was like, this, ooh, new shiny book. I want to go read this instead. I just get
Yeah,
distracted.
pretty much. Yeah, no, I actually wanted to read his short story collection. I think it's called Occultation or something like that. It's like
Yep.
it's the one that blew him up basically. Because like a lot of my friends who are horror fans are like, that is like the greatest thing since like H.P. Lovecraft showed up, and I'm like, I don't really like H.P. Lovecraft all that much, but I'll take you on that. I'll take you up on that. And people are like, oh, it's kind of a mix of like crime and horror. I'm like, oh, you don't need to tell me twice about that.
Yeah, no, I will take Baron any day over Lovecraft. Um, Lovecraft Lovecraft never did anything for me to begin with. I think there's a lot better writers out there. I think there's writers with actual talent who are able to do that cosmic horror thing and make it an enjoyable thing to do instead of spending 15 pages describing something that's supposed to be indescribable and then doing a really poor job describing it.
Yeah, no, I always say I find his actual like correspondence, like the letters he wrote and like some of the essays
Mm-hmm.
he wrote, those are far more fascinating to me than any of the fiction he ever wrote. If you ask me
Yeah,
personally.
I've never read any of his letters. Like he is a man that like I know enough about him. I don't need to know any more of his warped way of thinking. Um,
That's fair. I
and
mean,
like, but even
there
before
there is a
that,
lot of his. I mean, he does rant about black people and whatnot in his letters, but I just think his thoughts about horror as a genre are more interesting than his actual fiction. But it's what am I gonna?
I mean, and he was definitely somebody like you could tell was sometimes getting paid by the word, and he was like padding out those words for every nickel he could get, and like the writing suffers, like his stories suffer because of that. Um, and like I don't know, have you ever read the Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Laval?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, so if you read that and then you read Murder at Red Hook, the story that it's based on, and it's like, wow, why am I wasting my time with Lovecraft when there's clearly much more talented writers out here who can do this and tell a captivating, engaging story without losing you in the weeds of just the worst purple prose you'll ever read.
I like The Color Out of Space. That's a good story. But anyway, I don't want to get sidetracked in
Uh,
the Lovecraft talk.
yeah,
But yeah, so yeah, you mostly do like crime and horror. Like I mean I know you read Kindred a while back, which is a fantastic book. So
incredible. Like that was a soul crushingly incredible book. Yeah, I mainly read I mainly do crime and horror on my channel, and I do like it's probably 90% crime, 10% horror. I do read other things in my spare time, but like nobody wants to hear somebody whose main things is crime try to talk about like anything that's got any literary weight because that's I can't do that. I'm not the person to give you those reviews. Like my Kindred review was probably the worst Kindred review you'll see because like she is doing so much things that like I can't put into words how impactful or meaningful that book is, but I can tell you what a good crime story is.
yeah, I mean that one's kind of like a I don't know what to call it. It's basically it's a slave narrative, but told from someone in the well, at the time, modern day of the 1970s.
Yeah, and I stayed away from it for a long time because it's so heavily billed as a sci-fi story, and I like one genre I don't really mess with, the sci-fi slash fantasy. Um, but then I finally saw enough positive reviews on it that I was like, I'll check this out. And like calling that a sci-fi story is a huge disservice to what Kindred is. And I understand that there's that time travel aspect that you need to. Um,
It's not even
but
like
man, with
science
that book,
heavy. It's just like she just gets teleported to the past. We don't
like
know
yeah,
why.
like that's the only science fiction
You could
is
make
she can time
theories
travel
on
back in
why
time.
she gets teleported there, but I mean, you don't know, and you don't really need to know. But
Yeah, and they never really explain it overly well in the book, because you don't need to. That's not part of it. And to me, like science fiction, like that is a huge narrative part of the story that you're trying to tell, and you're getting into the weeds of the science, and that is not Kindred at all. And I understand like why she chose that. Um, it doesn't have the same weight if it's just telling it as a straight slave narrative of somebody who's living in the early 1800s when she was going back in time, and you need that juxtaposition of how much things have or how much things haven't changed up into 1970.
mm-hmm.
But it is like it's not a science fiction novel, and it's just like it's a human novel. Like every human should read that book and take something from that.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I mentioned I made a video the other day. Kind of, if you, I hope you didn't mind. I kind of just copied your video of some books you
But
couldn't
no,
stop thinking
like
about. Um,
have people improve on what I do. I'll come up with an idea, hopefully, and it resonates. And that's great that you thought like, hey, I want to steal this. Like you're not stealing; it's YouTube. Like there's no
but
intellectual property on here.
yeah, because it's like I've also thought it. I haven't been able to really. I mean, I'm not like thinking about it every day. Like, damn, like that. Yeah, but like, I'll be. The other day I was getting something to eat, and I'm like, oh man, Kindred was crazy, bro. It's like that. Um,
And she took a lot of stuff like out of it, like things that not just about slavery at that time, but also just how terrible in our eyes and how difficult life was at that time.
mm,
Like she's like this early on when she first goes back. She's talking about like how the food is just literally left out on their table for 24 hours. Like this cooked meat that's been sitting on a table for 24 hours and people are just eating it nonstop. And like how like today you would not do that. You would not eat meat that's been left out on a table that long. And just like yeah, I don't know. She looked at it at like the entire view of it and not just hey slavery here, but like what it was like living in that time as slaves, but as slave owners. And I don't know. I thought that was a really interesting aspect of it.
yeah, I mean, there's also the bit about like, oh, the medical technology at that time was really primitive, or at least primitive in our
Yeah,
eyes. I wouldn't say the people of the 19th century were stupid by any means, but they weren't quite like now where it's like, bloodletting, terrible idea.
yeah.
I mean, that's what killed our first president. Yeah, they're basically like, let's take out the bad blood, and then he died because he had lost too much. But anyway, um,
Yeah, and that's what like that's why like it was so much more impactful. I thought that way because it was more than just a slave narrative and more than just slavery is bad or slavery was bad. But the way that she was able to just approach the entire story, and the humanity and lack of humanity of everybody in that story. Because I don't think there's really a character that comes out of that you love. Dana, who you follow like as the main character, like to a degree, but like she even makes decisions that you're like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this way, Dana? Like, this is a terrible choice. Um, and I think that like I don't know, like it made everybody so much more human.
yeah, no, I mean, I don't want to get too in the weeds on Kindred. I already made a discussion video on it back when I read it with a friend of mine. His name's Darko. It was really
Mhm,
interesting because Darko's a black dude, and I was a white
mhm.
guy, and we kind of, and it was also kind of weird because Darko actually lived in the area, near the area where Kindred
Oh
the
wow.
plantations parts took place. So that was really fun. Because he lives in Maryland. Um, but yeah, it was really interesting, kind of us meeting together and talking about it and what he got out of it and what I got out of it, and it was really fascinating.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was interesting, talking about some of the uh, um I think one of the things that got me was, well, aside from stuff I've already talked about, there's that sense of survival, like there's like a whole part of the book where she's like, "Bro, I will literally degrade myself if it means I get to keep breathing for another day." Which is, something we're not
Yeah.
accustomed to at all. Like, people are like, "Oh my god, why didn't he just kill the slave masters or whatnot?" It's like, well, you wanted to live, did you?
Yeah, no, no, exactly. And I thought, and not to go too down into the rabbit hole of Kindred, I thought she handled the if I lived back then, these things wouldn't happen. If I was a black person living back then, I would not allow myself to be put into this situation. Or if I was a white person back then, I would have stood up. And I think that she did a great job of showing how difficult it was for people to make certain choices in the name of survival, so they can literally
Also, how
stay
easy it
alive
is for
and what
people
they.
to do awful things to each other as well.
Yeah, like, and I thought, oh, was it Tom? Was her husband Tom? I can't remember his name now. Um, but like how quickly he was able to like assimilate into that way of life, and then in some of their conversations, he would have where he was like, "Why don't you just go along with it and do what they were telling you to do, so you didn't get this punishment?" And like 1970, he is standing up against his family, marrying into a relationship with a black woman when his
Mm-hmm.
family was disowning him because of that. And then as soon as he's around extremely racist people, those aggressions start coming out in him too.
Yeah, it's a great book. It really is. I don't really need to say much more about it. It's a
Yeah.
fantastic book. um, but yeah, no, you mostly cover like crime and like horror novels, which is fun because those aren't as much covered on BookTube unless you want to watch Criminology. And Criminology's great. He runs a really good channel. Talks a lot about stuff that's kind of overlooked on YouTube. He even read Hog, which is a book. Look, I enjoy me some dark and depraved books, but that is one I am never gonna read in my life. It just sounds too dark for me.
I don't know how he does it. Like there are some books that are just like
Sounds
how does
so
such a
grotesque. You're like,
friendly,
how?
kind, and nice man like just be able to go down and get into that dark. I'm like, that's too deep. That's too dark for me. Like I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. There's some of them I'm like, geez, man, that sounds dark. Um, I know you said recently you were thinking about reading Tender as the Flesh. That's a pretty good book.
Yeah, I'm as of now, I know that video just came out where I hadn't started yet. Maybe 60, 70% through it.
Oh,
Yeah, that is messed up. Like it is dark. It is, yeah. Like I don't like I'll see when I finish it. I have a really good feeling when I finish this book. I'm gonna be like, you know what, I'm good with eating any kind of meat at this point. Like I'm done.
yeah, it was funny. My friend Jason read it, and that's where I first kind of learned about it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll have to read this because he really liked it, and I did. And I was like, oh yeah, it's good. But that's another one that's kind of stuck in my mind since I first read it. It's kind of one I've wrestled with a bit.
Yeah, and I love like below the cannibalism aspect of it. Um, a lot of the themes of like how society can turn on each other and how easy it can do that to do something like that, really resonates with me. And I love how, while it's very clearly not a crime novel at all, like there's,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
you
more
want
like
to
a
count the crime
dystopian
against the human
novel.
race. Yeah, but it has a lot of that. Like it looks at the world the same way that a lot of crime novels do, and you follow somebody trying to make the best of a really crappy situation, and they might not make the best choices, but they're trying to navigate a horrible situation, and as terrible things happen around them. Um, this one is not really a crime, but it's still absolutely disgusting depravity happening around them.
I am curious what you'll make of the ending, because the ending, I know it throws a lot of people off, and it kind of threw me off when I first read it too. So I won't say what happens, of course, but I am curious to
Yeah,
hear your
no, no.
thoughts.
I will, as soon as I finish it, I will let you know. I mean, and I will definitely be doing a review on it. I know that for sure. I don't know
It's
where it'll be
definitely
on
one
the
of those
channel.
endings where you're like, what? That's it? So just to warn you.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm at this point in my life, like, I don't really care how an ending is. Like, when I was younger, an ending could make or break a book, but I'm at a point now where, like, I'm here for the ride, and if the first 80 page or the 80% is good, and you've loved the ending, like, that was still 80% of the book that I loved. That's more than enough for me.
How do you do that? Because I cannot do that. I
I
think
mean,
the ending's a big part of what makes a great book enjoyable.
oh
A
yeah,
lot of
no, no,
my
I
favorite
get that.
books
And
are like great because of the ending. Well, some of them that are not all of them.
so let me ask you this. How many books have you read that were bad to okay, but had an amazing ending that then changed how you felt about that book?
Hmm, that's a good question. Not many of them. I can't think of one at the
So
moment.
so so if an ending can't save a bad to, let's say 2.5-star book, if an ending can't elevate that to greatness or even goodness, then how much can it really destroy what was otherwise an excellent book?
That is a good point. I guess I didn't think of it that way, but I still like endings. I'm still anal about
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
endings.
No, I mean
But
but that's just
then
like
again,
how
I
I
do
look at
like
it. Like,
Stephen King, and he sometimes struggles with ending things. I do think it has been oversaid, because I do think there are books he has written far more than some people give credit. Where I do like how he ended them, but there are a
I mean,
good amount of them where you're like,
I've only
what?
read
What are you doing? What are you doing, Steve? I think you're hitting the cocaine
I've
a
only
little
read
too hard.
seven of his books. So like, and I mean, I don't like, I know The Stand is supposed to have a bad ending, I believe.
I'd say
But I don't know how much of
the
that is in the.
climax is bad. The actual ending, like where everyone comes back together, that's good. But the climax is not good.
Yeah, like I've never read The Stand, but like that's because that's. I mean, I live near Bangor, Maine. I have lived in Maine
Really,
my entire life. Stephen
that's
King. Yeah,
great.
like Stephen King has been like
You lived in
like
Stephen
like
King
he's I
land.
don't
That's
say
awesome.
yeah, like I don't say like he's part of my life because obviously I don't know the dude. But like I've I have run into him on more than a handful of occasions in my life.
Like actually ran into him.
Like yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow, that's
I've met
cool.
him a few different times. Like yeah, like I go around my hometown and or where I currently live now,
He's
not
like
my
drinking
hometown.
coffee.
Um, yeah, like you see him at the bookstore sometimes. Like there are things named after him. There is like the baseball field is named after him. He had like probably
that
shouldn't be
that, that
saying
mu-
this, but
I don't know if you've read
I had
it,
a
but that
job that like he donated money to make sure we stayed afloat at one point. He's always been like this ever present
have you read
entity
it?
in the life of growing up in Maine. So like you learn and hear so much of his books without ever reading them that you're like, I don't need to read this because like it's like just grown up in it.
Have you read it by Stephen King?
I have not read
Oh,
it.
I was about to say, well, if you live in that area, that might be a little freaky, because I've heard the town, I think it's called Derry, is very similar to
Yep.
Bangor, so it might.
Yes. Yeah. Like so, I've got friends who live literally at the corner of the like the where what do they call it? the rain drainage pipe is, like they live on that corner.
Really? Oh.
I know. And so like there's like usually like a red balloon that's like hanging from it, like for like most of October. Um, I'll tell you this: I live on Pet Cemetery Road. It's like the road that Pet Cemetery takes place on in the
Oh
book.
wow,
That's the
really?
road I live on. Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah. So like I said, like so, and I have read Pet Cemetery mostly because like, hey, I probably should read this now that I'm on it. Um, but like so much of his books, and I've heard so much about his endings, but every book that I've read of his, like I've never been like that was a bad ending. Like
No, I think it's a little
you have
overstated,
to end it somehow.
but but I will say he does sometimes struggle with them. I'll give him that. But you know, I still like Stephen King though. It is very much about the journey before destination, which I've grown tired of that term. But I think in King's case, it's appropriate. Hopefully, he'll allow me to be a little
In
hypocritical at
King's
least once.
in King's issue, like from what I've read, his endings are the or far from the thing I'm worried about most. Like there is he has a hard time writing women and how people react to women. And if I wanted to have Stephen King correct something, it would be that more so than his endings for me. And I'm not saying that like I love Stephen King. I've read a bunch of his books. Um, but yeah, like or I don't know. Like, have you read Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King?
No, but I do own it. I've been kind of on a Stephen King kind of break for the last couple years because I in like 2017 or 18 I read like a crap load of his books and I was like, okay, I'm a little burned out now, so I'll go over there. Um,
I mean, I liked it a lot because it's Stephen King going into the crime genre. So I know a lot of people, a lot of King fans hate it or don't enjoy it as much or don't enjoy his later years output. Like that's where I think he's thriving. Like he's a really good crime writer. I thought Joyland was really well done, and that's kind of got that mystery crime like vibe to it while still having a bit of horror. But Mr. Mercedes is like a straight up just serial killer crime novel, and he does a pretty freaking awesome job for this being one of his first ones done, in a by that point 50-year writing career.
yeah, I know he's been kind of veering into. He's been doing a lot of crime recently, which I haven't read any of them yet. Not because I don't think I won't like them or anything. I've been kind of taking a break from King. But yeah, I would like to read Mr. Mercedes at some point. Maybe I could sneak that in this year. We'll see. Um, but yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing. Like everything's always I'm gonna sneak it in this year, and then like 4 years later, you're still trying to find time to
yeah,
sneak that book in.
pretty
Like it's
much,
just
yeah.
like there's always something else that comes up.
Yeah, like it's funny. I'm one of my other goals is to read more science fiction. I have The Stars My Destination, which I'm gonna read after I complete either The Given Day from Dennis Lehane or Gun Machine from Warren Ellis. I don't know which book I'm gonna finish first, but I I was gonna read that in 2020, but then COVID happened and I got really
Mm.
freaking depressed, aka so I could not read a single word and just either got distracted or I just would stop doing stuff because I was so depressed. But 2020 was not a fun year. Um,
No.
it's kind of funny. Gun Machine is kind of similar too. I've been like, oh, I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. And I found it at a used bookstore, and I nabbed it. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then I'm doing it now. So here we are. But yeah. So I know what you mean. That's what I'm getting at.
I mean, it's funny you mentioned Dennis Lehane as what you're reading. Dennis Lehane has been on my I'm getting to it this summer list for 7 or 8 years, and I still haven't read a Dennis Lehane book. Like I still haven't done it. And I've got my wife just got me Small Mercies yesterday, and then
That would be a good place to
I've
start.
got
Small mercies.
is it A Drop Before the War, A Drink Before the War? The
Mm-hmm.
first Kensington Gennaro. But I haven't started that. Like I want to. Like he's this guy. Like I want to keep getting to him, and then somehow something else always distracts me before I get to him.
Yeah, it was funny. I read Small Mercies with my friend Jason, who also turned me on to Tinder as the Flesh, and I was like, and he's weird. He'll find any reason to like knock on a book, and he liked Small Mercies, and I liked it a lot too. But I was just kind of, and he was just kind of like, I don't like this Boston setting. I just don't like it. I'm just like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, it's a good story, but like I don't really care for the Boston setting. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, go away.
You're probably not going to enjoy a lot of Dennis Lehane then.
Yeah,
That's where all of his books are, aren't they? At this
yeah,
point.
most of them, yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm reading A Given Day, which I wouldn't say is a great place to start because it's more of like an epic historical novel than a crime novel. Though there are some crime elements in there. It's kind of funny. It almost seems like Lahane's trying to do like the L.A. Quartet kind of thing. The characters are very much Lahane's, but like I won't get into it till I do like a discussion because I have some friends who love The Given Day, and I'm gonna hopefully I'll read the whole trilogy this
No,
year. So we'll see.
I like the sounds of that. And again, being from the Northeast, like being well versed in Boston and the dynamics of Boston and the surrounding towns, and spending a lot of time in that. That's like the one big city that's even remotely close to me. Um, like being able to like see and recognize places in a book. Nice.
Yeah, I mean it's fun, but it's kind of annoying about Lahane is that like most of his books you could probably pick up and understand what's going on for the most part. It's not like Elroy where I'm like, okay, here's a specific place like you could start at and have a good time with. I actually made a video recommending some books I think you could start with if you wanted to, but um, I mean if you got Small Mercies, I mean you could just crack that one open. I mean even Mystic River, which I think is like best Lahane ever done, and I think he knows that now. But like you could read Mystic River and just like read it on its own, and you'll understand what's going on. So it's not like Lahane where or not Lahane. It's not like Elroy where you're like, oh hey, I'm gonna go on this sidetrack and beat up some black people or something
Yeah.
like that. Whatever happens in an Elroy novel. But anyway,
Yeah, no, like I've owned so much Dennis Lehane in my life and like still never done it. I got Mystic River shortly after the movie came out and I saw that and I was like, oh man, I have to read this book. And it sat on my shelf for like 10 years and I eventually got rid of it. I said, apparently I'm not reading this. I did the same with Shutter Island, never got around to it. Um, and then I've had A Drink Before the War for a while and I still like, I don't know. Like he's this guy I want to read and something like always just gets in the way.
yeah, that's always I can't tell you how many authors I've done that with. So there you go. But
And then you
yeah,
do it, and then you're like, Jesus Christ, like why did I wait so long to read this? Like,
yeah,
why did I take so long? Like now, like I've wasted 15 years not doing this.
yeah. No, I don't know. It's yeah. But I try to think of it as well. It was there waiting for me, so now I can finally
Yeah,
enjoy it. Given Day's interesting though, because again, it's more like an epic historical novel than like a crime book, and I do think it kind of meander. It does feel you'll feel the size a little bit, or I have anyway, because it does kind of meander a little bit, but it does have a lot of the stuff from Lahane I like, like the social commentary and the strong characters. So there's that.
yeah, I'll have to check it out.
Though the story is kind of one I find sometimes irritating, where it's the guy who's like the normal, somewhat liberal guy discovers how bad like the poor people have it, and he's like, "Oh man, we got to do something about this." Which not to sound like a douche, but like that, I'm kind of sick of that story. To be honest with you, like, okay, I got that.
No, I mean, there's something to be said about like that,
It needs to
and
be
I
said, but like I'm not. I get it. I'm at that point where I'm like, I get it. Okay.
yeah, I want something more than that. Don't just give me, oh, I now finally see how bad other people have it.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you bringing new to this story? What are you bringing new to trying to advance this conversation if that's the conversation you want to have? Because if it's just, yeah, another, let's be honest, probably white man doing this. We've heard this, and I understand. Like I'm a white man, I get it. Um, but you're not bringing anything new to the table. Like
There is
there's
there
no
is
new
some parts that
conversation happen.
there is some parts that takes place in my home state in Oklahoma, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
Greenwood,
really? That's
which
awesome.
is in Tulsa, was in Tulsa before the age old some black dude like looked at a white lady for too long, and the white lady's like, he molested me, and then they burned the whole place down. Keeping
Hmm.
it very simple here, but that was before all that because this takes place in like 1919. So I think what I think makes this book really good. I like the character dynamics a lot. I think they're really strong in this, and they usually are in Lahane's stuff. So not really
Yeah,
saying
and
anything new there.
I mean, that's what I'm looking for in a book. Like, if you're giving me good characters, if you're giving me an enjoyable story, no. If you don't nail the ending, or even if your ending's just not what I was hoping for, like, there's been books where, like, oh, that's not where I would have gone with this, but like, hey, like, I can't fault you for wanting to do this. It's your book. I'll go along for the ride. I'm enjoying it. If you got good characters, that's gonna overcome anything terrible with an ending.
Yeah, and I think that's really what's keeping this book from being just kind of, oh, look how badly these other people have it. We should do something about that, And the white dude's like, oh, I gotta do something about this, which it does play with that a little bit, but again, I don't want to get too much because there's a lot of people who really love The Given Day. I can see why. It's not really as much of a crime novel, and it's doing rather admirably at being that. It's not, it's not like super crime. There is a little crime in it. It's about cops, so
Yeah.
well,
And
okay. It's
sometimes,
part.
like,
It's
I get
part.
it.
It's
Like,
part.
sometimes
It's
it's supposed to be
partly
able to
about
stretch your
cops.
wings.
Though it's partly about cops. There's also a black. That's the guy who's from Greenwood, which was like a black community in Tulsa. Um, which that's really strong. I
Mhm.
really like those parts, and even the parts that would generally annoy me in other books. It's funnily enough, it's kind of like Small Mercies. Like Small Mercies is another book where it's a story that's like would be really stupid and like annoying in other contexts, but he just does it so well that you're like, oh man, this is great. But yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, I'm getting off on tangents here.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I think The Given Day is a good book though. I don't know if it'll go down as one of my favorites, at least not yet from what I've seen. There are some really strong moments in here though. Um, but again, I kind of going back to my initial point. It's kind of it's nice, but it's also kind of frustrating because it's not like there's like one book where you can go, oh, start here, because it's like, well, there's a bunch of books of his you could just here, just take it, you'll enjoy it. Like I could probably give you say Gone Baby Gone and you'll read it and have a good time with it and you'll probably understand what's going on for the most part. Like he does reference a few other books in the Kinsey Gennaro books, and I'm a chronology guy, so I like reading them in order. So um but you don't
Yeah. So
have
like
to do
that's
that is what
because
I'm
I've seen
saying.
the movie, and I loved Gone Baby Gone. Um, but I was like, oh, I can't start here. Like, there's four more books like in front of this that I need to read first. So that's why I picked up Drink Before the War,
Yeah, and you can
and,
start there
and
too. Like that's where I started. Or
I'll
well,
probably start there. But Small Mercies, like, 'cause I've heard nothing but great things about Small Mercies. That might be like, hey, at least dip my toes and get the feel for kind of Lahane, and kind of get the feel for like where he is now-ish, because that was like 2022, 2023 that came out, I think.
yeah, it was a few years ago.
Like it's fairly recent, comparatively in his bibliography, and then like okay, let's jump all the way back to the beginning and see where he took off and kind of like watch that growth come that way. Like that's always a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I think I think it'll go down as one of his best, and he said he's gonna. I don't know if he said. I'm not. I don't want to sound clickbaity here, but he did say it's gonna be his last book, at least for a while. Um,
Oh, I didn't
I
realize that.
I hope not, but if he does end with Small Mercies, oh man, hell of a way to go out. Wasn't quite a 5-star. It was almost there because I thought the ending was a little predictable. It was good, but it was it was what you'd expect from that kind of story. But it's a good book. It's really really good.
I mean, and sometimes, like, I don't know, like, at least in crime fiction, like, there's only so many endings that you can have, and I'm not interested. For me, I'm not interested in
I mean,
reading
it
a
can't all be the
story
killer
where, like,
inside me, where they just they just blow bullets. They just blow him to hell, and his
like
house blows up.
yeah, and to be able to pull off an ending like that, like, I am scared to see other people who can't write as good as Jim Thompson can try to make that ending work, because that ending's not working in almost anybody else's hands. Like, you have to have, like, Thompson's deft touch with writing. Because say what you will about how violent that is, say what you will about how dark and disturbing that book is, like, that's a one hell of a well written book to be
Hmm.
able to make it work the way that it did.
That's another one where I read it and I liked it when I read it, but it's just stuck with me. Just like I don't know, there were some parts of it I thought there would be more like build up to like when he would start freaking out because
Mhm.
it's kind of like Dexter where he has these like I don't know if it's rules, but it's these limits he puts on himself, and if he breaks them, he'll start and of course the whole book is about how he starts breaking them.
Yeah,
um,
and it's just fascinating, like, watching him argue with himself, like, when he breaks these rules that he has, watching him argue with himself why he had to do it that way, why I had to break these rules, why everything's going to be okay, and then just watch that spiral for the entire book, like, and I mean, it's a relatively short book, but that never gets old despite how depraved he can get at times in that book.
Yeah, no, I've also thought about reading some more Jim Thompson this year, but again, I don't know where to go next. I've thought
Is
maybe
that the only
Pop.
one that you read by him?
That's the only one I've read from him. Yeah, I've thought about doing like Pop 1280, which is like the other one about like the super like depraved like murderous sheriff. I'm
Mhm.
like, damn, he likes that trope, I guess.
Yeah, Pop 1280, I enjoyed a lot. It's not as good as The Killer Inside Me. It's not. It's also not as dark as The Killer Inside Me. Like, there's a lot of humor in Pop 1280 where Lou Ford always turns dark. I can't remember who it is, like, who the character is in Pop 1280, but he has a much more sardonic worldview, and the way that he messes with people is in a much more, like, hilarious way. Like, not like Jim Carrey style, but like it's a much more funny way of messing with people than what Lou Ford does in The Killer Inside Me.
Yeah, I always thought Lou Ford's kind of like Hick act when he would just like say like these annoying little like phrases. Like I always thought that was kind of funny.
Mhm.
Where it's just
Yeah, like, so it's a lot of that, like, dialed up to 10
or it's
on
like, hey
in
Lou,
Pop
that guy just got
1280.
murdered, and he's like, oh, is that right?
Yeah. No, I think Pop 1280 is a good place to go after that, just to kind of like see the two different sides of the coin of that kind of character. I think The Getaways is a good place to go from there as well before I start getting
Yeah,
into
I've thought
like
about
the.
doing that one too because I've heard that's a great which is funny the version of The Killer Inside Me I have actually has a foreword from Stephen King.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what version you have of it. It was funny because I got it on
No, no.
Amazon and I was like, oh, awesome. And I went to my local bookstore and they had copies. Like, this was like months later. I'm like, you fucking assholes. You're killing me. No other Jim Thompson books, by the way. It's just A Killer Inside Me. I'm like, you guys suck, man.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
how it always is. It's always only one of them.
Yeah, no. I'm just like, God. But anyway, yeah, but yeah, that's a really good book. My favorite part is when he's in the jail cell with the duty framed and he's basically like revealing his true nature, and you're like, whoa, yeah, like
Mhm.
that's like I think That's like pure noir if you've ever seen it, in my view anyway.
Yeah, and that's what blows me away with Jim Thompson is he writes despicable characters, and it's really easy to write a despicable person. It's really hard to make a despicable person that you enjoy being in their head of. I mean, I don't know if I want to say enjoy, but that you don't tire of, that you're willing to stay there and see where it goes instead of just being like, this guy fucking sucks. Why am I reading this?
Yeah, no, part of oh, what was it? It was uh yeah, there's a couple places people have pointed me to, like Pop 1280 and The Getaway, which I've heard The Getaway has a crazy ending, so I'm like, maybe I'll have to try The
Mhm.
Getaway. Um, but I one of the things I like about Jim Thompson, like, I read A Rage in Harlem a few months ago, and it's kind of similarly where it's like this is like super like dark, for the 1950s, and even now you're just like,
Yeah.
damn, like they let him get away with that, like it's crazy. At least I thought it was.
Yeah, like The Killer Inside Me, like that is insane. Like if you did not tell somebody that this book was written in 1950 and you changed any anachronisms for, what vehicles are around or payphones, like that shit is darker than most books coming out now.
Yeah, like he talks about like BDSM and like molestation. You're just like, good lord, that's crazy,
And
man.
not shying away from it, like going full into detail of it and not just being like, oh, like you think of the comic code, like the CCCA,
uh
like oh, like we can like allude to this, but we can't actually do this. Like, nope, there's no illusions here. Like we're straight up telling you like what's happening and having like full narratives on this. Like, wow, like crazy for that time period.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you mentioned he's also a hell of a writer. He has some really great like description scenes of the town that Lou lives in.
Yeah, like, oh, for sure. Like he packs so much into a 200-page novel every time. Like there's parts of like 1280 that I can still like picture perfectly in my head of what that town looks like, and the the different rooms that he goes into and the different houses and the streets, and just like the scenes, like he paints them so well and makes the characters feel so alive, and yet he's not verbose. He's not beating you over the head with a 700-page brick. It is he's in, he's out, but doing a magnificent job the entire way.
Yeah, no, I want to read more of him because I know he's kind of one of the grand masters of noir. Um, Another book I'm hoping, one of the kind of crime classics I'm hoping to read is like the Maltese Falcon. So I'm hoping to do that after I complete one of these books. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I did that last year, and that held up quite a bit better than I expected because that was originally 20, because that just entered public domain in 2026. So that must have been originally written in 1926 as like a serialized form,
Mm-hmm.
and then it came out as a novel, I think, in 29. Um,
Oh wow, damn,
for a
almost 100 years
for
old.
a 100-year book, like yeah, like for a 100-year book on a very like often looked at a hokey style of writing when you're talking about like noir in the 20s and 30s, and often kind of looked down upon from other, genres. It held up really, really well. There's a few twists, there's a few turns in there, and like just some absolute insane descriptions of people. Like his
It's
descriptions
like
of,
the
of
it's like the
people.
whole Dame walked in my office type of writing. Is what you're saying?
It is, but there's just this one man who like he is a heavily overweight man, and like he describes like just like the double chin bouncing as he laughs, and you can easily picture this man in here. Like his writing is so descriptive, and at times like almost over the top of the description that like there's humor in it that still holds up today, literally 100 years later.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I'm also hoping to read like James M. Cain and maybe David Goodis. We'll see how that goes. Because
I haven't gotten to Kane. Like he is somebody that's on my list. So is Chandler. Like I've never gotten him either.
not same. I've,
I
I've
would love to do the big sleep. Just I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, I mean the fun thing about these kind of detective series is that a lot of them are hey, sorry, my dog just came in here. I'll have to where
No,
are
you're
we at?
good.
I'll have to get rid of this portion. Give me a sec here. Sorry about that. I'll have to cut that
No
out later
problem.
in post production. What was I talking about? Oh, I think we were talking about Raymond Chandler. Yeah, or
Yeah,
no. What's nice about some of these crime books is that like they're not all like big series where there's like a continuing story. You can just kind of pick them up. So that's always nice.
yeah. No, I mean that's like there's something to be said about not everything needing to be a series. And like when I look around at everybody else on YouTube, and I think, a lot of BookTube unfortunately is heavily fantasy and sci-fi based. That is what gets the most clicks. That's what gets the most views. And I'm glad people enjoy that, but man, like I don't want to have to read a 10 book series every time I pick up a book. And like I got 9 more books to go just to get through this, or I gotta wait to book 3 for this series to get good. Just give me a 300-page book now that's good from the start, and I don't need to know what happens to these people after. I can have a snapshot of their life and be happy with that.
Yeah, at least with like Spencer, you can pick up like book 22 and follow it. Okay, I haven't read
Yeah,
Spencer, but I've heard it's kind of in that vein.
like and like I enjoy a good series now and again, but like I don't need everything to be a series. I don't need to watch this character grow, or in a lot of cases, I don't need to stagnate with this character, and just do that. Um, just give me, just give me a book. Although I say that, and like Happen Leonard by Joe Lansdale is
Oh
just
yeah.
a friggin' and I think like that's the thing. Like you have got to be such a great writer to make these people, enjoyable and people that you want to spend time with, and I think a lot of writers don't have the chops to be able to write the same characters continuously for so long. Um, Lansdale, though, goddamn, do I love Happen Leonard?
I
Like,
want to sneak one of his other crime books into this thing I'm doing with crime novels this year. It's nuts. I don't think I'm gonna get to everything I want to get to this year. To be honest with you, I'm like, damn, we're in March already. Or not. We're not even in March anymore. We're in April.
we're in April now.
I was joking the other day. I'm like, damn, I don't think I'm even gonna get to all these books I want to get to. No, it's funny. I saw you were talking about 5 Decembers the other day, or I think that you were talking about five. It's the James
Mhm.
Kestrel book. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
man, I was talking to a friend of mine. And he's like, oh, you should read that. That's like the best noir thing that's been written in like the past like 10 years. And I'm like, oh, is it? I'll have to pick it up, and I'm probably gonna read it in December because gotta keep up with the theme around
Uh,
here. But yeah, I want to though. That
I
book.
don't know if I could say it's the best noir in the past 10 years, just because I love Jordan Harper so much. Um, and I think A Violent Masterpiece by Jordan Harper might be the best noir thing written in the past 10 years. Like a Violent Master, like because it's especially like how you love Ellroy, you're
Mm.
going to love a lot of A Violent Masterpiece. Um, but yeah, 5 Decembers is friggin' incredible. Like I'm shocked that he had to use a pseudonym to sell that book because nobody would buy it with his real name, because he's like a horror writer or a thriller writer that doesn't sell a lot of books with his real name, and nobody would bite on it until he changed his name. Because like you read that book, and that book is friggin' amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, no, I'm looking forward to reading it. I can't find it in any of the bookstores I have, and that's nuts because like the
Really?
what's it called? The hard crime or hard.
Hard case crime.
Hard Case
Yeah.
Crime, yeah, those are generally pretty available. Some of the other ones, anyway, because they sometimes republish. Like there was one from Robert Silverberg, the science fiction writer. He wrote some crime stuff, and
Yep.
like Lawrence Block, the guy who wrote the Scudder
Yep.
series, which I haven't read any of those books, but the Walk Among the Tombstones movie I thought was a very underrated crime thriller.
I
Um,
haven't seen that one. I've read all of the Keller series by Lawrence Block, which is like his Hitman,
mm.
and then I have read the first Scudder book.
You've also read some of the Parker books, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I've only read the first
Um,
one, and I've only read the comic adaptation for the first one as well, because
yeah, yeah. And you were just talking about, so in your video of like the four books I can't stop thinking about, you had the Darren Cook.
Oh yeah,
Um, is he the artist for the Parker series?
yeah, yeah. No, he's the one who
Okay.
did the adaptations. Yeah, which I don't know if you use
Yeah, those are
Goodreads.
those are beautiful.
Yes, no. The first book is really close to the actual book because I read the comic adaptation first because I was just kind of like, oh yeah, I really like the New Frontier and I want to see what this guy has also done, and he did the Parker stuff because he really liked the books. Um, I really thought that um, yeah, that the Hunter is really good. I especially love the first couple pages where he doesn't even he doesn't even need dialogue. It's just him, you know how he describes that he gets everything. He just does that without
Yeah,
saying a word. It's really quite remarkable. But yeah, I mean, I don't want
yeah,
to.
that opening, like the opening page for that is incredible. Like like him walking across the bridge, like completely like ripped up clothes, like people flipping him off, him yelling at people because he's walking in traffic. Like he sets that stage on page one of who Parker is and what he's all about, and he doesn't take his foot off the gas the rest of the way.
Yeah, and it's super. You know, we were talking about Elroy earlier. It's super like kind of like with Don Winslow a little bit. It's super restrained. Like it's very like blunt. Is that a good
Yeah,
term for it? I
yeah.
don't know.
No, no, yeah, like he's definitely very, very blunt. Like he doesn't mince his words.
And it
He'll
fits
hit
because
you every once in a
Parker's a
while
very
with like
no
a
nonsense kind of guy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
yeah, no, no, you're fine. Yeah, like he's a very like blunt, no nonsense writer, and then he'll hit you over the head with this like off the wall amazing sentence. That shows like, wow, if he really wanted to be writing this a different way, he could. And then he like flips it right back to just like you are like his writing mimics the character that you're reading about.
Yeah, it's funny because his name was Donald Westlake. That was his real name. And he also has some hard case crime where they had the old little pulp covers and stuff. I really
Yeah,
like that they're doing that because you know, they're like super approachable. It's kind of like the DC Compact comics they've been putting out recently. Though I fucking hate what they look like. But anyway, I'm getting on another tirade. Um, it's cool they have the hard case crime. That's what I'm trying to say.
yeah, no, like, and it's weird because up here, the only ones I can find at the bookstore it was literally 5 Decembers and then the three that Stephen King had done,
Is
and like
that
I can't
right?
find any other. I can't find any other ones. I was able to find. I found one other one at a used bookstore. Um, what was it? Lowdown Road by Scott Von Doviak, I believe it is. I haven't read it yet.
Never even heard of
But
that.
it seems to be like very like Dukes of Hazzardy inspired. It's like a couple of like cousins are like going after like this drug running gang, and then there's like an evil sheriff like chasing after them. I don't know. It seems like this would be a book that like when I need a good palate cleanser of just something fun to read, this looks like based on the cover and the write up, like this looks like a fun palate cleanser. Not going to change my worldview. It's not going to like be something that I'm probably going to be singing its praises 10 years down the road, but like it's going to be like, okay, I need to pull my head out of just James Ellroy level darkness for a while and have something fun.
Yeah, no, you were talking about Joe Lansdale earlier, and I've read the Happen Leonard. It was really fun for me when I read Jim Thompson. Like, I think Joe Lansdale has said Jim Thompson is an inspiration, and like you could see it, and like how he does this
Mhm.
kind of odd hick humor, but it gets like when it gets dark, it gets really, I mean, I've only read the first three because I watched the TV show, loved it. I think that's an underrated show. I'm really sad they canceled that.
Oh, I
Um,
can't believe they canceled it.
um,
That was such a good show.
oh man, it sucked doing that. I ended the third season. I'm like, you ended like that? What? Yeah, no, it sucks. And
And
but it
it was perfectly cast. Like both of those actors were like how I pictured Hap and Leonard in my head, and then how like man like I'm convinced that those two guys were like best friends for like 20 years before doing that show. Like they did it so well.
yeah, and I still like Mucho Mojo the most, at least so far from what I've read. Because I it's just like the humor, the darkness. It's perfectly done in that book. I think. Where in the I think they're pretty good in the other two books I read too, but just in the second one, it just hit different. I don't know. I can't really describe it.
Which one is the Two Bear Mambo? Is that the third one, or is that book four? Oh man,
I don't
I
know.
can't keep his title straight in what order. Um, so is Mucho Mojo?
That's the second one.
Is that the dealing with like the recording artist in the like the blues album?
No, that's the third one. I think that's
Okay.
the second one is the kids and that they find
Oh, yep, yep, yep,
in Leonard's uncle's house.
yep, yep.
Uh, yeah, no, yeah, I just I don't know what it says about me. My favorite one's the one about them investigating child murder.
I mean, that's a recurring theme with some of his books. Um, and then like as you read like more Joe Lansdale, like within Happen Leonard and even his out of Happen Leonard series stuff, like I don't know what happened to him when he was a kid, but like so many of his books deal with like cars going into ocean or
Yeah,
to
he does
lakes
love
or
that.
going into rivers. Like it's constantly like cars submerging in water and then people dying in them. I'm like I don't know what happened to you, dude, or like if you lost somebody this way and you're dealing with it. But that is a recurring theme for Lansdale books.
He also loves like M words that end with like Joe or Bo because it's funny
Yeah.
because I've seen some of his Jonah Hex comics that he did because he's done comics too, and
Mhm.
one of them's literally called like Two Gun Mojo. I'm like, what is your obsession with the like? He's called the Champion Mojo Storyteller. I'm like, what is your obsession
Yep.
with that word?
Yeah.
Like,
It works for him
it
though. It
does.
does.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Have you read Bubba Hotep by him?
I That's the one with the Elvis or Elvis. It is.
Yeah.
I've seen the
W-
movie. I've
w-
seen the movie of it.
with
So I love.
Elvis and JFK.
Yeah,
Oh man,
it's like
it is.
JFK was a white man. It's like, but they changed my color, man. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Oh,
whatever.
the I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is incredible in that role. The story is so good, and it's maybe 25 or 30 pages. Like you can knock it out in a day easily and
It's like pure
enjoy it.
Lansdale to me. It's like some
Yeah.
goofy hijinks with like a heart in there, and you're like, yeah, okay, I like this.
Yeah, because I mean, on its surface, it's two old dudes who think they're Elvis and a black guy who thinks he is JFK, and they are fighting a Egyptian mummy god, and you think that it's just gonna be like pure chaos and like off the wall humor, and especially like how the story opens, which I won't say on your channel because it opens in a very graphic way. Um, there is so much heart in all of his stories and the way that he balances like having this heart and sincerity in it
mm,
versus just trying to be like as as outrageous or as funny as he can be. Like, but like rooting it in this heart and sincerity. I love it. And I've been thinking a lot lately about how, and it was something that you had said in one of your videos, where like so many people are just, you have to be as edgy as you can be. You have to be as cool as you can be in their writing. That like nobody wants to have a sincere, heartfelt character. And man, if you can pull that off, like I will love that book 100% of the time.
Yeah, I read I think the last Lansdale I read was The Thicket, which is kind of, if I could describe it, it's kind of his Lansdale take on like True Grit, you know.
Hmm. Yeah,
Fun book, really enjoy it. It's a good one to read if you like Lansdale. Um, it's a western too, so you know that's always fun.
yeah, for sure. And it's got another one of his tropes of little people. He loves to put little people in his
He
books for
does.
some reason.
I've heard
Like,
there's one part in one of the Hap and Leonard books where like I think it's
yep,
Hap gets into a fight with a little person or something. I'm like, I want to read
yep,
that.
yep, yep. He does numerous times. Like, yeah,
Yeah, he loves like weird like freak show stuff, you know. Like there's the part in where they meet Hap's ex girlfriend who was like a contortionist. He's like, what is this?
hmm,
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
But he always does it like in a very sincere way. Like he's not punching down. He's not using them as a way to mock them or to bring humor into the story in a way of making them the butt of the joke, but having them be the people who bring the humor, but it's not about their their stature. It's about like just who they are as people that can bring that in.
Yeah, no, it's yeah, I enjoy his books a lot. I haven't read one I disliked, so which is crazy because he's written so much. I'm like, damn, he has to have a stinker somewhere in there, but I haven't read him yet. Um, Hopefully
Yeah,
he
like
doesn't.
he was one of the authors when I decided I was going to do this booktube thing. There was two authors that like nobody talks about enough on here, and it was Don Winslow and it was Joe Lansdale. And like if I can get people turned on to either one of those, then like I am happy with how this channel worked out. Because not nearly enough people are reading Joe Lansdale, and the amount of people that said they love Stephen King on here, but then like just bypass the horror stuff that Joe Lansdale did in the '80s. Like, man, you do not know what you're missing out on. Like this guy can
Yeah, I
dig in
know
the
he's
right
done
circles
horror.
around him.
He's done. I know he's known in like splatterpunk circles, as they call it.
Yep, yep. Like he created. I mean, like he was like one of the forefathers of that genre. Like he is, man. Like people do not know what they're missing out with on Joe Lansdale.
He also wrote one of my favorite episodes of Batman the Animated Series, Perchance to Dream. So there's that too.
Yeah, I have not watched any Batman the animated series. But when I found out that he was a writer on that show, I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to check this out.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, it's also fun watching interviews with him because he's interesting guy. He's like a martial arts
Yeah,
teacher and
yeah.
uh, yeah,
Like
like
he has lived a full life. Like he has got so many different like things going on in his life, and like again, he's one of those people. Like, how do you write some of the stuff that you write about, and then you come off as such a like loving life kind of person, and like not looking at every glass up as it's half empty. Like I don't know, like he's got a great worldview on that for some of the sick shit that he will write about.
yeah, no, it's funny. It's I can't help but think of the Stephen King quote now when he's like, people sometimes ask me, why do you write about this grisly subject matter? And I just go, what makes you think I have a choice?
Hmm. Yeah,
It's good. Another author I've seen you talk about who I also really enjoy, who is kind of funny because I think he sometimes kind of goes in that Lansdale where it gets dark, but there's also humor in it. But I know you really like S.A. Cosby. The
oh yeah, yeah.
I
I'd say
really
Cosby is incredible.
I quite enjoy him as well. It's kind of funny. Razorblade Tears kind of reminded me of something that Joe Lansdale might have written, except it's a little more serious.
I never really thought about that, despite like some pretty obvious window dressing being kind of the same of, Hap and Leonard versus Ike and
I think his name's
what is the other guy?
Buddy Lee or something.
Yeah, Buddy Lee. Yeah, like Ike and Buddy. Um, no, I can definitely see that. I mean, S.A. Cosby is probably going to be the best crime novelist by the end of like 2030. Like his like two more books under his belt. And I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch what he brings to the table.
Yeah, I've read all of his books except for King of Ashes, and people are like, "Oh my God, Britton, you should read King of Ashes." And I was like, "I will. I don't know when, but get to it."
King of I couldn't I can't pick a favorite S.A. Cosby novel. Like every day that would change. Like some days King of Ashes is my favorite one. I love I love how S.A. Cosby tries to do a different thing with each novel. So like he's got like the revenge book with Razorblade Tears. He's got Blacktop Wasteland being like that heist story. King of Ashes being kind of that like Godfather, like taking down the mob. In this case, it being like a gang in Virginia or West Virginia. He's always trying to do kind of a different flavor of crime in each one of his books, and not just kind of like retelling the same type of story over and over again. Um, yeah, I don't know. This is a heavily debated topic in this household. I don't think S.A. Cosby can do any wrong. My wife thinks S.A. Cosby can't do anything right. So
Yeah,
she,
yeah, no, I read oh, what was it? Um it was it's hard for me to, because I really liked Razorblade Tears. I thought that was really good. I thought that was like a nice I really liked the emotional depth he gave to that book. But then I read All the Sinners Bleed last year, and that one was like an assault on the senses. I was like, this might be his best
yeah,
book, guys. Like, I really do. I do think it is his best one, because it's so refined, and as compared to his other books, because there was a couple things that kind of left me wanting in some of those other books, except for maybe Razorblade Tears. I thought Razorblade Tears was really good for the most part. But that one, All the Sinners Bleed, I just thought that was just so well crafted. Um,
yeah, all of it. I think. I mean, My Darkest Prayer, his very first one, is a bit rough. Like it's good, but you can definitely tell like My Darkest Prayer is his first novel, and he's still working out the kinks. You can see him playing with his voice some and kind of getting his legs underneath him. But to go from My Darkest Prayer into um into Blacktop Wasteland, like that being book one and that being book two, that's such an insane growth in between those two books, and Blacktop Wasteland is freaking phenomenal. Razorblade Tears, like yeah, like it left me wanting a little bit more out of it. There's a lot he did great with it, but All the Sinners Bleed and King of Ashes is just like both of them. I think are phenomenally 5-star books.
yeah, no, I haven't read a book of his I didn't like, so there you go. Though I do think My Darkest Prayer is kind of him doing the whole, kind of not Happen Leonard so much, but kind of that, uh, the I'm kind of surprised he didn't turn that into a series, because it kind of seems like a first book of a series. Really, it's very much like oh, here's a guy, he solves problems. He has that friend who's kind of crazy, but he follows his lead.
There's some people from My Darkest Prayer who show up again in King of Ashes.
Really?
Yeah, but it's not anybody you would think it would be.
I'll have to. Well, I mean, I'm definitely gonna read it. I'll definitely read whatever S.A. Cosby puts out, because most of the stuff all the books I've read from him are really good, and then I read All Sinners Bleed, and I'm like, I think that's just on another level. Just I think that's again, I think it's
Yeah.
his best one that he's done. I don't know if it's my personal favorite just yet, but it is the best thing he's done.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think King of Ashes is really. I mean, I know some people didn't love parts of King of Ashes, but King of Ashes, like it's. I think it's him firing on all cylinders. I think that's where he's got his voice down perfectly. He knows the story that he wants. But I can, like you're frozen, but I can hear you now.
Oh, I can hear you now. Okay, I'll probably just get rid of
Okay.
that bit. You just kind of
Yeah, there
started
you are.
fritzing out for a minute.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, no, I mean, I don't know if it's your fault with technology. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to
um,
tell any of that stuff.
anyway, you were talking about S.A. Cosby, and then you started kind of fritzing out there for a minute.
Yeah, like S.A. Cosby, especially with King of Ashes, like that is his. Like I think he's firing on all cylinders. Like everything that he does well, he does in that book. He knows what he wants to tell for a story. He does it amazingly well. He doesn't overstay his welcome, and he has his characters be really well rounded, I think, and tackle a few different stories we haven't seen him go for yet in King of Ashes. And then also touching on like he has a recurring theme of fatherhood and
Mm.
fathers and a lot of like broken relationships between fathers and son, and that continues in King of Ashes for sure.
Oh my god. I mean, I'd be very pleasantly surprised if King of Ashes outdoes All the Sinners Bleed for me. But we'll see. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to discount your experience, of course.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, no, and I don't want to overhype it. Like this,
I don't want
there's
to. I don't want
nothing
to sound
worse
like
than like
I'm
going.
saying you're wrong. That's what I'm getting at.
No, no, like I get that. Like there's nothing worse than like going into a book with like really high hopes and then being like, yeah, yeah, okay, that didn't live up. Like, and yeah, like I've had people do that. Like, this book's amazing. You need to read this. Is the best thing you're gonna read. And you're like, it was good. Like, it didn't. If I didn't have as high hopes for this, it probably would have come out better than I thought.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm kind of that way with the Given Day at the moment. I'm kind of like, okay, I'm waiting for it to get great. I'm really waiting for it to get great because I've had a couple of my friends who are like, this book's a freaking banger. It's one of Lahane's best, and it's really good. Like, I'm not saying it's bad or anything. It's just kind of like, okay, this is really good. This is quite good, but I'm not quite at like banger level yet. Like, damn.
Yeah, yeah, and like, and if you weren't going in expecting it to get to that point, are you able to sit back and enjoy it more?
But I don't know.
And that's and that's something that I try to think of like when I talk about books, and I do a book review. Like I don't want to oversell it and have somebody go into this and be like, "Oh man, this book's gonna change my life," and they'd be like, "Yeah, that book was good. Like it was 3 stars. It was 3.5. Like I enjoyed it, but like I don't know what he's talking about. Like I'd rather have somebody go in and be like, "Wow, that book blew me away and blew my expectations away," than go in. Man, I was way too amped for this, and it fell flat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I try not to worry about that, but sometimes it's hard not to because sometimes people look at me, man, this is great. And there have been books where
Yeah,
it's been hyped and you read it and you're like, yep, this is as great as people said it was. It's like Lonesome Dove. I read that a few years ago. And people are like, oh man, this is great. And I read it. I'm like, damn it. Okay, it's great. All right. I get why people love it so much.
yeah. I was lucky enough to read that before I watched a lot of reviews about it and see how everybody railed about how amazing it is. Like I love it. Like I don't know if you can tell. Like I have a Lonesome Dove like trail map behind me
Oh,
there that has
really?
like all the different trails that they took. Yeah, like I absolutely loved it. Um, I can't imagine what I would have thought if I watched people, just rave about it nonstop before finally reading it. Like that was just like, oh, like it won a Pulitzer back in the '80s. It was supposed to be good. I'll check it out. And I was like, yeah, no, this shit's incredible.
I know. I'm like, this is amazing. Who wrote this? Larry McMurtry? Oh, man. Like, I've even seen people who are like more critical of stuff are like, okay, this one's good for whatever reason, but Like I'm like when even the hipsters are saying it's good, like, oh man,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sold.
I think like the only people that I've seen have and I don't even want to say it's like a negative review of it, but like a somewhat like less than thrilled with it is the people who are at Life on Books. I think Tony is like, it's good. I don't think it's nearly as great as people make it out to be. Um, but like it's good. And I'm like, oh no, you're wrong, Tony. That book's amazing.
Yeah, that was kind of me with Blood Meridian though. In that case, I'm like, I get why people don't like that book. It's yeah. Anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, Lonesome
I've,
Dove's
I've
great.
never done I've never done Blood Meridian. Like that's I've only ever read The Road. Well, no, I've read The Road and I've read Outer Dark.
Mm.
I think that's the only McCarthy that I've read.
I always say start with No Country. I think you, or well, unless you've seen the movie, then in case you know what it is. But um,
No, I haven't.
no, wow, that's crazy.
No, I mean, and I think, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I've got no interest in reading McCarthy now. Um, there was a time when I did, so I think I held off on watching the movie because that's like, oh no, I'm definitely going to read the book first. And then it took me a long time. Like, I read The Road back in like 2012, um, and loved it. I read Outer Dark probably in like 2013 and 2014. Like, followed it up pretty quick. And then like I just again like want to get back to him, and then it took forever. And now with like the stuff about him now, like I'm good.
I think
I
you would
don't need to
like
go
No
back to him
Country.
now.
It's more of a crime novel than anything else. So there you
Yeah,
go. But yeah, no. Anyway, but yeah, that's surprising. Like I haven't met anyone who hasn't at least seen it. But whatever. I don't know.
yeah. No, I mean, because I always plan to. Like, I mean, because The Road, and this is one of the few things that I can say positively. Like, I don't know. Like, I read The Road shortly after becoming a father.
Oh
Like, my
yeah.
kid was 2 or 3 years old when I read it, and something that you had touched on in that most recent video of yours, or maybe not your most recent one, of McCarthy not being a pessimist. Like there's a lot of beauty in The Road, and the relationship between the father and the son in The Road hit me, as a fairly new father at that time. Like the relationship between the two, and the absolute love that was shared between those two, and how McCarthy was able to showcase that. Like, yeah, I get it. It's about the end of the world, and this unknown catastrophic event that is like killing everybody off. There's a lot of beauty in that dark ass book.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, that's kind of a given with McCarthy there. But yeah, no, it's kind of funny. I kind of view The Road as like his most optimistic book, but I'm like, oh man, it takes place in a post-apocalypse though, and if that's his most optimistic, then damn, damn, all the pretty horses
Yeah,
is
no, no, for real. Like it takes place in like have you I've seen parts of All the Pretty Horses.
mm.
I've never got around to the book.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's more I would say it's more lighthearted than some of his other stuff. It's I mean, it does get dark, of course, because I always feel like every one of these just comes around to, have you heard of the gospel of one Cormac McCarthy? People are like, yes or
Yeah.
no. I don't know. But anyway. Um, but yeah, no, going back to crime novels though, I am glad that you were around to talk about crime novels, because again, there's not as many people who talk about crime novels. I mean, I'm one of them, but it's not like often.
Yeah, no, like it is barren. When I started, it was Ollie, and
Hmm.
it is like you said, Carl over at Please Read Your Book. Like those were the two that I was like, man, like those are the only people I would ever really see, because you would never pop like, and that's the issue with the algorithm. Like there's people out there that are doing it, but like they don't pop up when you search for them. Um, and then I started seeing you, and then I started seeing StoryTube, and like that's really all I can reliably count on to do any sort of crime review or like talk about crime books at all. I'm like that. No, like we need so many more people. Like please, please. please
We need to start a
review these
crime
books.
renaissance, or however you pronounce that word.
Yes.
I was trying to describe it yesterday, and I couldn't. I couldn't. My brain couldn't words. So I was talking about another renaissance thing, but this we're echoing each other. But yeah, no. Yeah, I was just like, man, like I wish there were more like crime, like booktubers. Like, there's a market for it. I mean,
I mean the books. I mean they all tend to
your
sell
channel's
well,
doing
and
pretty
I
well.
think
So I mean,
it does okay. Like there's, I mean, I enjoy what I'm doing. It's definitely not anything that I'm ever going to make money off of, and that's not why I'm doing it. I'll probably never monetize my channel because it seems weird to make money off doing this. Um, but
same.
I
I
still
don't.
can't figure out like what works and what doesn't. Like there's videos where I think, oh man, like I think people would enjoy this, and it gets like 100 views, and there's videos that are like, wow, that's taken off. I don't understand what it is because both books are relatively obscure, but they'll like I don't know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
It's interesting how it works. I'll just say that I'm the same way. I don't want to monetize my channel because I don't want to be beholden to an algorithm.
yeah, I don't know. It seems so not fun at all. And then like I don't know, I don't know what it's like for you in your home state. But for me, it's started in January of this year. Like every freaking ad is a political ad of one sort or of another for any position. And like the idea of me having ads on my channel and I'm getting paid by any political person, whether I agree with them or not, like that just feels freaking gross to me. Like, no, that's not like I can't do that. Like
Also, why
that's
are you
weird.
asking a book channel that? Like, that'd be weird. It's like, oh
Yeah,
yes, this book was really good. And by the way, you should vote for this guy. Like,
yeah,
go
like
to a
but like
political
literally like
channel.
every ad that I watch, like if when I watch some of the bigger people, like I enjoy watching Nick over at Books Are Sick. I don't know if you ever watch him. Um like he occasionally will do some like Stephen King stuff. Um and but he has ads and it'll like randomly just insert like, hey, here's a political ad. I'm like, no, like dude, I'm here for books. Despite the fact that the books that I enjoy the most are books that are taking a look at how politics have failed in this country and the people that have been left behind by them are struggling to survive. Like I don't want my ads to be that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't really watch political tube anymore. Just like, it's getting ugly. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was, yeah, but yeah, no, I'm glad your channel exists. I think there's a wide market for crime fiction on BookTube, and no one's really jumping in on it unless you're like Ollie and me and StoryTube. So
Yeah. I want as many people out there doing it. Like man, like it is an amazing genre. I love it, obviously. But there's not nearly enough people talking about it, and not nearly enough people singing the praises, and not nearly enough people that like it gets looked down upon. Like I know a lot of people look at it as like, oh, that's just like airport thriller stuff. Like you grab it for your airport ride, and it's a quick story. And man, like it is so
there,
much more than
there's
that.
some of them that are that. To be fair.
Yes, yes, like if you want the James Pattersons, if you want, that like that definitely happens, but that's what everybody gets lumped into, you know. And just like every science fiction book isn't L. Ron Hubbard, just like every fantasy book isn't J.R.R. Tolkien, every every crime book isn't James Patterson. And
No.
you
Oh, why,
gotta like
James? Ugh.
I,
Ugh.
I want more people recognizing like how incredible this genre really can be, and how thought provoking and how impactful and meaningful the stories that they are telling in their story in their books are, much more so than like Law and Order SVU. is.
I fucking hate Law and Order. I'm sorry. I don't wish to be that forceful, but I hate Law and Order. It's like the soap opera of crime fiction. It's like
Yeah,
watching a.
that's what people think. Like when you say it's crime fiction, like that's what people picture, and like that should be the last thing people picture, and they should be picturing stuff like Jim Thompson. They should be picturing stuff like S.A. Cosby. They should be picturing stuff like Attica Locke, which, oh
There's
my
more
God,
wire like
I'll tell you,
stuff out there, less Law and Order
yeah,
stuff.
and it blows my mind because you look at like
That was
what
kind of
are
my
some of like
gateway drug. Really, is when I to all these crime writers is when I first watched The Wire. I'm like, oh, these guys write books too. I gotta check this out. Yeah.
yeah, and but like The Wire, people love like one of the best recognized shows of all time. Breaking Bad, one of the best recognized shows of all time. Like, why are you not thinking that's what crime fiction books
Yeah.
are?
Or
Why are you
Heat.
thinking it's this crap when you know like some of like True Detective? Like there's such prestige television that people love that is crime fiction and movies that are crime fiction that
Yeah.
they
Or
won't
Heat.
make that jump into the books. Yeah,
I don't know why I keep saying Heat. I mean, that's not my favorite crime fiction film of all time, but that is one of the greatest ones ever made.
yeah, and
There
I
are books
guarantee
like
you
Heat.
when
You could go pick them up.
Heat 2 comes out like next year, people are going to lose their mind over Heat 2 the movie, and nobody's going to read Heat 2 the book that it was based off that came out like 5 years ago. They're just going to go, wow, we finally got a sequel to Heat. Like, yeah, it's been out as a book for quite a while now. Where have you been?
I honestly wish they didn't do Heat 2 in general, but what are you going to do? Hollywood's going to
I
Hollywood.
mean, is it going to be as good as Heat? No. Like, do I need that story told? No. I mean, I don't love that it's a prequel and a sequel at the same time. Like, I think pick a lane and stick with it. They're not necessarily people that I need a prequel or sequel to, but if it if it gets more people to somehow find out that crime fiction is friggin' amazing and you're gonna pick up that book and read that and go, holy shit, this is great. I'm gonna read another Meg Gardner book, then yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's another blind spot is like female crime fiction writers. Like there's people who are like, oh, Meg Abbott, and I'm like, oh, who's Megan Abbott? I'm like, oh, who's that? And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. Again, I don't think I'm gonna get to all the
Um,
books I want to read this year. To be honest with you.
if you want a incredible woman crime writer, Attica Locke is insane.
Oh yeah,
Like
there's
I,
Gillian
I
Flynn too.
yeah, I've never read anything by her. Like I know Gone Girl's supposed to be incredible. I know Dark Places is supposed to be incredible. I'll get to her eventually. Like
I think Sharp Objects is her best book. That one's just I love how raw it is. That's just fantastic. But anyway, what's funny? I actually
that
have.
that is on my list to get to this summer. Like that is one of the few that I'm like I'm going to read Sharp Objects this summer. So like it's gonna happen.
Forgot about Attica Locke. I actually read her book Bluebird a few years ago, and I liked it a lot. Kind of reminded me of S.A. Cosby a little bit. I was kind of like, S.A. Cosby did this, and I liked how he did it a lot better, but this one's quite good too.
Oh man, like
There's a great line in it too that's really stuck with me. I really enjoy. So it's not all, but yeah, no, I not to I do want to read more of her books though.
I loved Bluebird. I think one of the things that I loved that she did in that, and there is some similarities to S.A. Cosby for sure. I will point out that she was writing, and that came out before anything S.A. Cosby did. So if anybody was borrowing, it was him.
Oh, okay,
But like
well,
the way she incorporates music,
yeah, I like that. That was
like
good.
she
I like that.
incorporates music so well into her stories that that's like I've never found somebody else that can tell a story and have music be such an integral part of it and feel so authentic as she does.
Great cliffhanger ending too. I gotta that was one where it's like I'm like, damn, gotta read that second book. Gotta get that soon.
Yeah, you do.
Um,
You do. And the third came out last year or 2024 now. Incredible. Yeah, I love Attic a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you read much comics at all, but if you like crime stuff, I would be remiss not to recommend at least Criminal from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. Unless you've already read it, in that case, I'm just wasting my time here.
Nope, but I knew that's what you were gonna say because everybody says you need to read Criminal, you need to read Criminal, and I'm not good with comics.
Or
I will
Scalped.
start them and like yeah, so like I've got I think there's like 12 volumes of Scalp. I got the 10. I always just end up puttering out before the end of it. I love Scalp. Um, I enjoyed that a lot. I just never got around to the end of it. I really enjoyed Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron.
Yeah, that's
I
great
thought
too.
that was really really well done. And then they went on hiatus, and then they like put out one issue, and then they took another hiatus, and I was like, okay, well I'm off this game. Like I don't have time for this. Um, I want to get around to Criminal. Everybody talks about how great that is and how great Sean and Ed are. Just
Or the Reckless
like
books if you want something a little pulpier. But I think all of their stuff is well worth a try. So I'm not impartial here.
no, like it's like and they are definitely like who I want to get to in the comics realm. I just so often when I sit down to read, I'm grabbing a novel over something like that. Um, I don't know why. Like that's just how I've always been. Like I like growing up, I didn't read a lot of comics. Um, I like I always start and I just like I sputter out like Boss Saga with Ryan K. Vaughan. I loved that when that first came out, and then they took their friggin' hiatus, and I was like, all right, I'm out.
It's always the
Like I don't have,
hiatuses.
I'm not waiting around for you. Like yeah, always going on. Everybody's taking a hiatus, and I'm not sticking around for this. I don't have time. Like I will forget where I left off and not get around to it when you guys come back, and then I have to like read 54 issues to get back in. Like nope, I'm done.
You know what's funny about Saga? I'm always just lamenting. I'm like, yo, BookTube would flippin' love Saga. Like, I'm telling you, like,
Hmm.
there would be so much gooning over Saga if more people on BookTube knew
Yeah,
about it. It's insane.
yeah, no, they would. Like it hits so much of what BookTube loves. I mean, it's probably a hard one to talk about because there's so much of that art you can't show on
Yeah,
YouTube.
it's true. Yeah, no, but yeah, no, I'm like, man, we were saying about crime books earlier. I think that about Saga. I'm like, man, people would love Saga. Like, if Murphy Napier got a hold of Saga, it would be blowing up all over BookTube.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, it is like their Star Wars epic, just told. I mean, and I think Brian K. Vaughan is a wonderful voice, and Fiona Staples is an amazing artist. But like, I don't have time for I don't have time for hiatuses. Like, I just nope, I'll forget.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's always fun, but I mean, hey, Ed and Sean's always a good bet. Also, they're
Yeah, I mean,
self-contained, so
that's what I like about Criminal is
you can just pick one up and
it's
go like, oh,
contained. Like it's 5 issues, and that's what you got.
yeah, but yeah, so there's my gooning for Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips for the day. uh,
Have you done you probably must have the Fade Out?
yes, that's my favorite one from them. Um,
Is it okay?
hmm um, oh man, I want to talk about it someday, but yeah, I don't want to get into that so far. But I that's my favorite one from them. I haven't
Yeah, I
read.
picked up the first 2 issues when they came out, like when they were coming out as floppies. I picked up issues 1 and 2, and I read those. And like I said, like I always start, and I just never follow through on a
It's their
comic.
version of Chinatown. Like, have you ever seen Chinatown?
Mhm. No,
No. Okay. Well,
no,
okay. Then
no.
you won't know what I'm talking about. Dang it. What's another? I would say it's like Elroy, but like not really. It's more about like movies. It's more about like
Hmm. Yeah,
it's more Chinatown than Elroy, but Elroy's kind of the guy who basically made L.A. noir to an art form. So kind of hard not to
yeah.
compare. But yeah, no, Fade Out's great. I've only not read like their most recent stuff, so there you go. And I haven't finished Criminal yet.
Well, they just put out a new volume of Criminal, or it's starting
They
to come
did,
out.
yeah. I've been meaning to pick it up. I haven't yet. But yeah, I think most of their stuff's worth a read. Like, it's funny. We were talking about Tinder is the Flesh earlier. Sometimes their endings will make you go like, "Wait, that's it?" But I think they're worth it. I kind of like how he does them. Anyway,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's on my list. I'm gonna get to it. Like, I'll get to Criminal someday, and I'll probably regret that I took so long to get to it. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know what it like, and it's not like I don't have anything against the medium. It's not that I think like it's definitely not like I'm too highbrow to read something like that. Like, I don't know what it is that like I
those
never
dumb capes.
I
I'm
never
not reading that. It's like, no, Criminal doesn't have any
no,
capes
no,
in
no,
it.
like I mean I love the X-Men. Like I have read hundreds of X-Men, comics. I act like, but again, like I'll start and then I'll fall off again, and I'll start like, and it's like, you know what, in 6 years I'll pick up, 3 issues and then drop off again. Like I don't know.
Yeah, no, I wait for the trades to come out and then I pick them up. But apparently that's like hurting comics. So I don't know
Yeah.
anymore. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, no. So I guess before we wrap up here, because I'm probably gonna eat dinner in a little bit. But like, what are you hoping to read
Yeah.
very soon?
Oh boy. Like, I'm just
Do
gonna
you
name
plan them
like a
out?
hundred
I
books.
guess is what I
I'm gonna
should
name like a
ask.
hundred books here. Um,
What were you
so
reading when
like I
I
definitely
saw you when you first showed up? I'm curious.
that Tender is the Flesh. So
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm working through Tender is the Flesh. Which maybe I shouldn't have been reading that. Like, things started to pick up like right as you came on. I was like, man, I really should like not have started this now. I'm leaving. I hate leaving off in the middle of a chapter. I need to
I don't
end
like
like
doing
at a
that
chapter
either.
break.
So I'm sorry.
Like this sucks. I need to know. So like, but things like started to get kind of crazy. I want to read um Dark Ride by Lou Barney that you said like is from your neck of the woods. So I want to check
Mm-hmm.
that out. Um, I want to read Dennis Lehane. Like, I think after. I mean, I want to get through. I want to get through Dawn Patrol, by Don Winslow, and then I will probably do some Dennis Lehane, and then I definitely want to do Gillian Flynn this summer. I'll probably do some Jane Harper this summer as well. Man, eventually I want to work some horror in because it's been a long time since I've read some horror, but just been in a huge crime mood lately. That like just roll with it.
Yeah, I know. I remember when
I'm
Carl's
also like
like,
I'm a huge mood reader. Like, I will tell you all of this, and then the next time you ask me what's my last four read books, it'll be none of those because something else will grab my attention, and I'll go down this rabbit hole of something else, and I'll be like, yeah, shit, there were those books I wanted to read. I gotta get to.
yeah, no, yeah, Carl's funny. I watched his channel back when he was like, "Hey, I'm taking a break from crime books for a while. I'm gonna be reading all these sci-fi books." I'm like, "Damn, man! Like, I kind of liked when you. I'm glad you were talking about those crime books. It's dwindling
Oh
over
man, I
here.
loved it. I wish he still was. I wish he still
Crime
was.
fiction booktube's in its infancy. Don't leave."
Yeah, I think he'll be back. Like, knowing Carl and watching like the ebbs and flows of his channel, like if there's one thing that always happens, he always comes back to crime. Um,
Oh, I don't doubt he will. I'm just kind of I am teasing a little bit, but I was just kind of like, man,
yeah, yeah,
I
but
do
like
love
he'll
sci-fi
be
too,
back,
but
and
oh man, come on.
I think he'll be back. I don't think he's gonna do a whole year. I'm gonna bet he's back before the end of the year because I mean you can't stay away. It's too good to stay away for a year.
Yeah, I know, and he has those like really nice criminal editions, the like omnibus or whatever those are. I'm like, dang man.
Hmm.
Anyway, I'm getting off
What do you
topic.
got on the plate? What are you hoping to read?
Well, after I complete the given day, I'm going to start the Maltese Falcon somewhere in that range because uh I'm reading it with a friend of mine who has already read it. So I was kind of like, oh, well, okay, well, yeah, we can do it again. We can talk about it. I'm probably going to read The Stars My Destination. And then after that, I'm gonna read Gloriana somewhere in that vein, and then after that, I'm just kind of making it up as I'm going along.
Yeah, that's all you can do.
Pretty much. Yep. um, but yeah, so I'm also probably gonna talk about The Searcher from Tana French with StoryTube. I'm trying to pin
Have you
Carlos.
already read that?
Yeah, no, I just read it last month, so
What did you think of it?
it's good. Yeah, I really liked it. It's more of a like a community. It's more of like It's not really much of a crime novel. It's kind of like a western, but it takes place in Ireland. It's more about like a community. It's really good
Mhm.
though.
Have you read a lot of her other stuff?
No, The Searcher was my first one.
Oh, okay,
Hmm.
okay,
I read
okay.
it in March because Irish. I felt it was
Yeah, yeah,
appropriate.
okay, makes sense.
Felt it was
Yeah.
appropriate.
No, she's like, oh man, like I feel like I've been to parts of Ireland because of some of her writing in her early books. I haven't read The Searcher yet or the follow up. Um, but I would love to see what you and StoryTube's got to say about it.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do it soon. Again, I need to track Carlos down because I've been trying to. It's funny because I've been also talking to him about The Given Day because I'm hoping to have him on to talk about
Mm.
that as well. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I've been going like because I have a habit where I when I read a book and I tell people what I'm thinking of it. I should probably quit that because I'm probably bugging them. But anyway, it's yeah. But
No, I
anyway,
mean that's the joy of reading. Like that's why I started this. Like nobody else I know reads this shit. Like I want to talk about this. Tell me what you think about this. I like that's the beauty of it. And like I wish the comment sections was more conducive to being able to actually have conversations about books and like get other people's opinions on it and have a back and forth. Like that's what I want to talk about when I read.
yeah, no, maybe when I read Five Decembers, I'll track you down and be like, you want to talk about Five Decembers with me? Hopefully, you'll
Yeah, oh
remember
for
it.
sure. Oh yeah, no, like that book, like you read that book, like you don't forget Five Decembers and what happens in it. I would love to talk to you about Five Decembers.
Yeah, I'll track you down whenever I do that, which is probably gonna be a long time from now because it's like
It's probably
this.
gonna be December. You're gonna be like everybody else, and you're gonna read that book in December because it says December in the title. And it's I mean, the entire book does take place in like December, so
Anyway, but yeah, we've been going on for a bit now, and although I've been really enjoying this conversation, despite the couple hiccups that have gotten in the way, uh,
yeah.
I don't want to hold you hostage. Is what I like to say.
No, no, I appreciate it. I have not had supper yet, so it
I
would
am
be
the
nice
same way.
to
I am
go
probably
and
going
grab
to
some
get
food.
dinner myself. But thank you, Matt, for coming. I'm glad we managed to get this together. It took a while, but it was worth the wait.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your patience with me as I had life slow down and me to feel better. But it was a blast being on with you, Britton, and thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. You should check out Matt's channel. It's a little bigger than mine, but he talks about a lot of crime books, and he has a I'd say he has an intimate style, if you will. It's you talking at the camera. I don't know.
Oh, well, thank you. I just I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just talking.
Anyway, before I leave, I always like to ask if you have any social media, feel free to share it. So be shameless. It's okay.
Oh
My
man,
permission.
I've got a Blue Sky account. I'm on it literally maybe once a month. It's at probably Books for the Porch. I think Books for the Back Porch was too long. That's literally my own social media. Like I'm of the just before social media age, so like I never really got into big into the social media game or know how to do any of that. Like the fact that I'm on YouTube is a miracle enough.
Well, you do have a Discord server, which I'm a part of. So there's that.
Yes, I do. The link for that's in my channel description somewhere. I could not tell you what it's called off the top of my head or how to get into it. Again, I'm not great with the social media stuff. But yeah, if you want to join the Discord and find some other people that will talk about crime books, like we'd love to have you on it.
Yeah, it was really convenient that you were on Discord, because if not, I would have had to like email you, and that would have felt weird to me. Cause I always feel like I'm violating someone's
No,
privacy when I'm sending them emails, which I've done, by the way.
I mean that's what email's for. Like, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know if you heard the thunder in the background, but it's gonna start raining soon. But anyway, thank you, Matt, so much for coming on here. And if there's a crime book we've both read,
Well, thank you so much for having me, Britton. It was a blast. Your channel is always a great time to watch. So thank you.
oh, thank you. I'm sure when I read some crime stuff that we've both read, I'll have you on my channel again.
Awesome. Sounds good to me.
Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Well, I won't say too much more. Until next time.